Dear viewers, dear learners, dear persons from here and there of the world who are watching my video now, at this time being, I am going to discuss about Narration Part 1. Dear viewer, you know what is a narration? A narration is a speech made by somebody, so it may be a general speech made by somebody. So a narration is can be expressed in two terms. Number one, the direct speech or direct narration, when the speech is made by the subject himself. The subject himself in his own word, very vividly, without any change, that is called the direct speech. Suppose I like to tell you, he said, I like you. He said, I like you. So, dear viewers, this expression, I like you, is made by him directly without any change of the quotation. So, this is called the direct speech. So, or direct narration. And the indirect narration or indirect speech is that when the speech of the subject is created or somewhat sensed by mishap in my own word, that is called the indirect speech. You see, he said that he said that he liked me. So, dear viewers, this is the direct speech and this is the indirect speech according to the rule. But what are the rule? You know. But today I like to remind you the rules of changing the direct speech into the indirect one. There is really 5 rules of changing the direct speech into the indirect one, and if you know the rule, it will be very easy to change the direct speech into the indirect one. First of all, I would like to tell you the number 1 rule. It is to change or sustain the RV, that means the reporting part of the direct speech. Direct speech, you mean the abbreviation is DS, that means the direct speech. To change the RP or the direct speech in the Indias, Indias. So, dear viewers, this is the first action of changing the narration. You have to change the RP or you have to sustain. You have to change the RP or you have to sustain it. So, please take a look at. He said to me, who are you? Who are you? So, dear viewers, this is the questions. This is the reported space or the and the total sentence is the direct space. So, I can make it indirect space like this way. Indirect space. He asked me. So what has been changed here? Because you see the reporting verb said to has been changed here into asked according to the rule, and the rules will be discussed later on. But now, just remember that you have to change the reporting verb or sustain it. There you are. So, said to has been changed into asked. He asked me who I was. Who I was. Dear viewers, who I was. So, this is the most important rule First of all, you have to know that you have to sustain, you have to change, you have to change or sustain, you have to change or sustain, you have to change or sustain the recording part. Number one rule. Now, dear viewers, please remember that the second rule of changing the narration into indirect speech is that you have to uh, you have to connect, use connecting word or conjunction, use connecting word, use connecting word, use connecting word or conjunction, use connecting word or conjunction, use connecting word or conjunction. So dear viewers, you see in this page you have to use connecting word or conjunction. So please take a look at. We said to Irina, I am your boss. I am your boss. So indirect speech is that he told Irina, that he told Irina that he was his sorry he was her boss. He was her boss. You see, dear viewers, here a conjunction that has been used to connect the two parts of the sentence into one, and now it is the complex sentence you see, and it is the that clause. So that clause starts with the conjunction that, and in this case that has been used after omitting the comma or quotation or inverted comma. So after omitting comma, quotation or inverted comma, we generally use the conjunction that according to the rules of the assertive sentence, but in any other sentence the rule may be different. So dear viewers, you have to make a conjunction or a connecting word in the uh, rule number 2. In the rule number 2, you have to do this thing. You have to make a conjunction or connecting word in the second phase of changing your narration. Now, I am going to tell you the third phase of the narration changing rule. Now, you see, number 3, Hassan said to me, you are a good, you are a good friend. You are a good friend. So dear viewers, you see, in this case we have to change. Number 3, we have to do the change of person. We have to make the change of person. That means we have to change the person in general. So how do we change the person? There is a very easy rule of changing the person is that when 2 or more words refers to the same person or objects, then we can use or change the person. Dear viewer, in your whole sentence you have to look for which word or words refers to the same person or object, then you can change the person. So you see that here in this sentence, in the recorded speech, the subject is you, and the object of reporting verb is me. So here me and you in the circle, you see, refer to the same person. Me and you refer to the same person. So in this case, I have to change the person. So how will I change the person, dear viewers? Please take a look at Hassan. Hassan said to me. Hassan said to me. You can write said to or told me. If you don't write said to, then instead of said to, you can use told. Told me uh, that. So you refers to me. So you is the subject of this reported speech. So me changes into subject, and from me we can get the subject I. It said to me that I was a good friend. Was a good friend. So dear viewers, you can see we have, in the third phase we have to change the subject, change the person. We have to change the person. And while we are making changing the person, while we are making the changing of person, we have to remember two things. We have to change the person in one time or sometimes in two times. So in this case, I have changed the person in one time, but there may be the situation of changing the person in two times or more than two times. So you have noticed or you have looked at the third phase of narration changing rules, and number 4 we have to change the tense. So here in this session I am going to discuss about how we can change the tense. Dear viewers, he said I am going to you. I am going to you. This is a very simple sentence, you see. He said I am going to you. So dear viewers, this is the direct speech. And if you are going to make this into it one, you have to change the tense because the reporting verb is in the first form. So when the reporting verb is in the first form, you have to change the tense. The foremost rule of changing the tense is that when the reporting verb is in the first form, you can change the tense. So dear viewers, he said that he. So as so the reporting verb is said here, and the verb in the reported speech is am, that is in the present form, but according to the rule this am will change into was, because this is the first form, and for this reason here we should have to use a past form. But when I'm writing he, so the verb to be is in the present form is, and from that first present form we are going to write what. He was going to him or me. Him or me. Him or me. Dear viewers, there may be any one implied object here. So there is no object after verb, reporting verb in the direct speech, you see. So I can take it as implied. So I may take it me as the implied object. And in this case, if I take me, then I can tell that he said that he was going to me, or if this if the implied object is him, then I am going to tell that he was going to him, etc. So dear viewers, you can see that the tense may be changed according to in respect of when the reporting supporting verb is first form, then we must change the tense. A general thing I like to tell you, that is like as honey. So that is easy, and as like as honey, you know that is you have to change only one verb in your indirect space. So when you are changing the tense, you have not any tension, because I am telling you there you have to have changed, you have to change only one verb in your indirect space. So you are changing the verb in the reported space of the reported space. So in the reported space, you see there are two verbs. That is, the first one is am and the second one is go. So I am changing the, or I have changed the verb am here according to the rule. So when you see there are two or three verbs, you have to change the first verb into the first form generally. There may be some exception you will find later on, but this is the general rule. But if there is only one verb, you have to change that verb. If there are two or more verbs, then you have to change the first one. So dear viewers, this is the number 4 rules of changing in direct space into indirect one. And the last of all, the most but not the least, the important rule is that there are some adverbials of time or place, etc., which must be changed into the indirect space. So, in that case, I may tell you that here can be changed into, here can be changed into, in the indirect space, indirect space, indirect space. You can change there, there. So here, there. So, and come, go, come, go, etc. Now, now, then. So there are this is another page of the discussions. I will talk about it later on. But I like to tell you that in the number 5, you have to send some adverbial of place, time, or some verb into the indirect space. So you have to know them. You have to know them. So there are many words. Suppose if the uh, pronoun look like a word looks like a pronoun, but it may sits or takes place before a noun, then that will be treated as an adjective. Suppose this man, this man. So physically, this word this looks like a pronoun, but you see this has been taken place before a noun man, so this has been used as the demonstrative adjective. So in this case, we can change the ds into the nds in ds like this way, the man. So in the indirect space, you will see that the phrase this man has been changed into the man. So this is another sections of the discussions of changing narrations, but I am telling you that you have to change some adverbial of place, time, or verb in the indirect space according to the rule. So these are 5 topics or rules by which we can change the direct space into the indirect one. And we have to remember the most important thing is that we can change all the sentences into only one sentence, that is the assertive sentence. All the sentences while changed into the indirect space, the sentence becomes the assertive sentence, you have to know. So dear viewers, today I have discussed my level best to give you some clear conception about how we can change the narration from direct speech to indirect one. And if there is any fault, please let me know. And hoping your good success and hoping your good health. Wish you best of luck. Thank you, everybody.